All right, so today's opener, if you notice, the front side has two positives, right? So the front side is basically what you guys took your quiz over last week. So this one should be pretty fast. We don't have to really worry about positives and negatives at all because it's all negatives. So we're going to start by finding our M. David, how do I find my M? Hey. Yep, which equals 8. And then your A is going to be what, David? Oh, sorry. 9. Good. So, because your M is 8, your A is 9, you look at your factor sheet under 8, and you determine what can you multiply together to get 8, but add together to get 9. You put this aside right now. Dude! No, I'm not dude. I'm Mrs. Lincoln. And we're not going to do this. I don't have time to do this today. And I need you to write down what I'm writing down. Okay, so what can you multiply together to get 8 and then add together to get 9?
1 and 8.
1 and 8.
I can't tell what that says.
So then you need to move to where you can see.
You need to turn the lights off.
No, I'm not going to turn the lights off. That's not how I do my class. Okay, so we have 1 and 8. This 1 and 8, if you guys remember, makes up my middle number, the 9n, which that covers the area for my middle two rectangles in my area model. So my first area that I'm going to put in my upper right hand is going to be what?
1n.
1n, good, put the variable with it. And then my bottom left area is going to be 8n. So then my first term will go in my first rectangle. So what's that first area of the first rectangle?
4n.
Okay. And then my last term will go in my last rectangle, which is 2. So once I filled in all the areas for each rectangle, the next step I'm going to do is find the greatest common factor for my top row. What does the greatest common factor tell me about the top row? What information does that provide me? Your height. Good. So I'm going to find the greatest common factor of 4n squared and 1n. What does 4 and 1 have in common? What's the greatest common factor for 4 and 1? Say? Yeah, it's going to be 1. What variable do they share? So the height, the greatest common factor, is going to be 1n. So I'm going to have my height times something, my height times something to get my area. So what am I trying to find now? My width. So I have to think 1n times what gets me to 4n squared? 4n. So that becomes the width of my top. And if that's my width of my top, it's also going to be the width of my bottom, right? So I'm going to go ahead and bring that 4n on down. Got it? Okay. So then we're going to go to 1n times what gets you to 1n? 1. So if that's the width at the top, it's also the width at the bottom. So I bring it on down as well. So now for the top of my area model, I have my height, I have my width, and I have my total area. Now I come down to the bottom row. What am I missing? I'm missing a 2, but what does that represent for my area model? The height. So 2 times 4n, does that equal 8n? Yeah. 2 times 1, does that equal 2? Yeah. So we did this area model correctly. So I'm almost done. Because this first expression does not have any parentheses, I know that it's the area. So I'm going to have area equals, because you're doing your height, so you're going to do 1n plus 2 times what? Okay. What does this first set of numbers represent on our area model? What's underlined in green represents what on our area model? The height. So the first set of numbers represents our height. The second set of numbers represents our width. Good. Get it down, flip it over. Now, if you notice on the back side of your opener, down below, I found the M and the A for you, and then I found what you can multiply together to get your M and what you can multiply together to get your A. On your quiz tomorrow, I'll have that done for you as well. So you automatically will already know what your M and A is. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the back side. I'm gonna like make my own little
You just.
dictionary. I'm just like,
She's
okay.
like, I'm so happy, but I know what that means.
Okay, so my m, what I did, I took the 4 times the -6, and it got me -24. My a was my second term, which is -5. Because my m was negative, my a was negative, so negative, negative, I knew that my larger factor had to be negative, which it was. So where do these two numbers go? So upper right, what am I going to put in my upper right?
Negative. No, 3.
3. 3 what? T? Okay, what do I put
Negative.
here?
I mean, no, 14.
What do I put here? And then what do I put here?
Negative 18.
-18. Nice job. Okay,
I thought you said negative 18. I was like, what?
18, 18. Now, I have my total area. What do I need to find in order to find my height? What's that term that I need to find my height? What am I going to do? What's this step here?
So it's going to be 2 to the second power, no?
Looking for a key? The height, I already told you that. So I want to find my height. But what helps me determine what my height is? What do I have to find for these two numbers? Say it again. Greatest common factor. So if I would factor out 4 and 3,
2.
keep watching. 3 is 1 and 3. Do they share any numbers in common? So what's my greatest common factor going to be?
3.
Say it again. 1.
Oh.
Alex, if they don't,
No.
Alex, if they don't share it in common, they can't
I
be the greatest common factor. But all numbers or every number shares a 1. So what variable do they share?
Uno.
T. So that becomes my height.
Big uno.
So now I'm ready to find the width. So 1t times what gets me to 4t squared? 4t. So if my width is 4t up here, what else do I know? So it's 4t down below. Okay. 1t times what gets me to 3t? So my 3 is also going to be the width down below. Is it okay to write my 3 like this?
Yeah.
3 times? No, why not?
Because, it's high time.
Yeah, so I need to make sure that I write for my width. Yep. Don't write them backwards because that would make you lose a point. You may get the same answer, but remember from day 1 when I said I'm going to be extra about how I want everything set up because it's going to be really important for our area models. So now I have the top row filled out. So I come to the bottom row. What information am I missing on the bottom row? Mike, what information am I missing again? The height. So what times 4t will get me to -8t? -2. So if I plug in -2 times 3, will that get me to -6? Yeah? So what's the height of my bottom rectangles?
1t.
-2. Yeah, but we have to make sure that it's right. Sorry, I'm going to shut that off. All right, what's my final answer going to be?
That's going to be T minus 2 parentheses.
Okay.
Oh, what you did, parentheses. 4t plus 3 parentheses. Box.
Good. Do you have to have that 1 up in front of the T
Of
here?
course.
Like how I put the 1T here? Do I really need this 1 here? Of course not. Yeah. If you put it there, fine. If you don't put it there, that's fine as well.
It's feeling like it.